Okay, so let's talk about a real giant of tango's golden age, Alfredo De Angelis. His name is right up there with the all-time greats. But here's the thing. For all his fame, there's a side to his music, this powerful, vibrant, absolutely electric side that most people just miss. Today, we're going to find it.
And this quote? This is the heart of the problem. For years, this has been the knock on De Angelis, a merry-go-round orchestra. It's kind of dismissive, right? The idea is that his music was just too simple, maybe a little repetitive. Good for dancing, but not really art. But is that fair? Is that the whole story? I don't think so. So I want you to consider something. What if we've been looking in the wrong place? Everyone knows his famous vocal tangos, for sure. But what if the key to his real artistry, his true genius, is actually hiding in his instrumental recordings? What if that simplicity everyone talks about wasn't a flaw, but was actually the point?
To find that genius, we have to start with his nickname, El Colorado. And trust me, this isn't just a random name. It's a clue. It points us right to the overlooked power of his instrumental work.
Yeah, El Colorado, the colorful one. And no, it wasn't just about the color of his hair. It perfectly captures the sound he was going for, especially in his instrumentals. It's about energy, character, and this sparkle. It's music that's just full of life. And that is a world away from a simple merry-go-round.
And look, this was no side gig for him. He recorded almost 90 instrumental tangos. That's a huge commitment. He wasn't just phoning it in. He was taking on the biggest classics in the tango songbook and giving them his own stamp. His focus was always on creating this super precise, rhythmically clear sound that had a ton of personality, totally independent of any singer.
Okay, so what does this colorful style actually sound like on the dance floor? Let's do a little anatomy lesson. We're going to break down one of his classic instrumental tandas, a set of 4 songs you'd hear at a milonga, and see how he did it.
Just look at this list. I mean, come on. La Comparsita, El Choclo. These are the Mount Rushmore of tango tunes. Every single dancer knows them by heart. But De Angelis wasn't intimidated. He saw these classic songs as the perfect canvas to show off what his orchestra could do. And this was his secret weapon. He wasn't trying to reinvent the wheel. He knew you already loved these melodies. So he took that familiarity and used it. He'd give you that tune you knew, but he'd inject it with this incredibly solid, fresh, rhythmic energy that just made it pop. It felt both brand new and totally comfortable all at once. And this is exactly why tango DJs love his instrumental sets. You drop one of these in the middle of the night, right when the energy is starting to sag a little bit, and boom, instant lift. The whole room just wakes up. And a pro tip, play it right after a beautiful vocal valse. The contrast between that soaring singing melody and the pure driving rhythm of the instrumentals is just electric.
All right, let's zoom out for a second. To really get why De Angelis was so huge, you have to understand the world he stepped into. His sound wasn't just some random artistic choice, it was an absolutely brilliant business move. This timeline tells the whole story. In the mid-30s, tango was kind of losing its cool. But then, this guy Juan D'Arienzo comes along with this wild, fast, rhythmic beat, and suddenly, young people are flooding the dance halls again. So when De Angelis launches his orchestra in 1941, the timing is perfect. He knew exactly what the people wanted, music that was clear, energetic, and made you want to move. Back then, you could think of danceable tango as being on a spectrum. On one end, you had this incredible, elegant smoothness, and on the total opposite end, you had intense, edge-of-your-seat drama. So where does De Angelis fit into all this? He was the bridge, the perfect bridge, right in the middle. His music wasn't as silky smooth as, say, Carlos de Sarli, and it wasn't as dramatic or complex as Osvaldo Pugliese. De Angelis gave you this solid, reliable, incredibly danceable feel that connected those two worlds. For any DJ trying to build a great night of music, or any dancer on the floor, that makes him absolutely essential.
So let's put it all together. After all the critics and the merry-go-round comments, why is his music still rocking milongas all over the globe? Well, the answer is all about rethinking what that word simple really means.
486. Just let that number sink in. That's how many tracks De Angelis recorded for the Odeon label. That's not just a fun fact. That is hard proof of massive, long-term success. You don't get to that number by accident. You get there by giving people what they want, night after night, year after year.
And that's because this was his mission. He was never trying to be the most complex or the most dramatic. His goal was different.
He wanted to create a perfectly harmonious, perfectly synchronized orchestra that was built from the ground up for one person, the dancer. His art was populist, it was functional, and in that, it was absolutely brilliant.
So we're left with this question. Was that merry-go-round sound a lack of creativity? Or was that direct, powerful, colorful simplicity the very secret to his magic? The reason we are still getting up to dance to his music, especially those incredible instrumentals, all these decades later? To me, the answer is sparkling clear.